Okay, let's start this very one of the few last classes, and because soon SCCM is starting now, but before that, of course, we need to do some of this finishing touches to Citrix. Okay, so Citrix online course and some troubleshooting tips here. We always go through those and follow up for are you sending screenshots. Please do like others are doing regularly. So please, everyone should be sending screenshots. If it's piling up, try to still do it for your own good. You're gonna get the uh, you know those screenshots will be useful for you in the future. Also, for exam prep, it's very easy, and after going through all those concepts and drilling through them, I think we should be now starting for the exam, and I would suggest that please go through the exam ASAP, because majority of the people are giving exam now for 6.5, and this is really important. You're gonna lose time. At least become 6.5 Citrix certified administrator. These are the links for those exam collection, and also the Pearson View site to go there, and you can see here 116 questions only. Other exams have like how many? 400, 500 questions. So it's still on 116 questions. So do go for the exam. This is a very good opportunity. And if you were having any problems till now for any of the labs, don't give up on your labs. Do the 6.5 because the majority of the planet Earth is on 6.5. And but they are going for 7.6 or 7.x versions of Citrix. There is there. Okay, farmers, can you mute? Thank you. Okay, so let's go for next. So the installation and configuration of Citrix XenApp 7.6. So there is a lot of difference, and even the terminology has changed, and it has gotten much more interesting. Of course, you will be able to understand this as well, because we've been doing the 6.5 till now, and jumping from, so this was a long jump. Like I just went for the latest one. Now I just saw that 7.7 is there as well, Citrix XenApp 7.7, but 7.6 has some major um, additions that were some major changes, some new features introduced that were not there in XenApp 7.5 and XenApp 7.x actually, or before 7.6. There is that, on my forum, I have put some of the links there that are showing that 7.6 may be the version that most of the migrations from 6.5 will be going to. So and I was just going there just to get that link for the desktop landing page. There's that. So Mr. Running 6.5 should be considering. So I'll just drag this article here, and no, this guy's not my friend. It's okay. It's just the article is perfect if you wanna know about what changes are coming there, and main changes. This guy is predicting that at 6.5, from 6.5, companies would be mostly jumping to 7.6, as it has adopted the most demanding features that were not available in any of the 7.x versions, and now they're available in 7.6. So there are many of these. So if I could, so I'll just put it there. Eh, and let me just drag that. So when you go to the forum, you can just go to the idprofcourses.boards.net, and you will see all those links for why you should jump from 6.5 directly to 7.6. If you're trying to jump now, there's also a link, very good link for 7.5, which also tell you in detail what are the differences, major differences, or the basic infrastructure differences. Of course, from 6.5 are the same in 7.5 and 7.6, but 7.6 has some extra features that have been introduced that were not available in 7.5. So you could just find it all in my forum in the Citrix section. So other than that, let's go and dive into this 7.6. So main thing would be, we used to know this and that of 6.5, and what would be the difference in 7.6? What has changed? What is called what? If I put it that way. So Citrix 6.5. This is a comparison table that I picked up from Citrix documentation. So Citrix form we're gonna create. It's not known as form now. It's called Citrix site. The whole interface is changed. Nothing would look familiar now, but the background concepts are still exactly the same. The names have changed. XML broker and zone data collectors used to handle connection requests and distribute them. Delivery controllers. So instead of zone data collectors, which were responsible for what's happening on all the Citrix servers, and XML broker, which was responsible for communicating between client and the web interface. So they are both being replaced by this delivery controller service, now handle connection requests and distribute them. App Center we use to manage applications, and it is being replaced by Citrix Studio. So you're gonna see now Citrix Studio with all those options of delivering applications, and App Center was the central dashboard or console we had, but now it's going to be Citrix Studio. And then apps, we had web interface we used to access applications on the client side. That is changing to Citrix Storefront. So it is called now Storefront, which was known as web interface, and you remember that we would just open a browser and give our credentials, and then it would just show all the applications that we have published. And now this is available as a storefront. So we're going to be trying to configure, install all these options, and then there are some extra features here. VDA enables connections to applications. We're going to be going in detail now. Citrix Director is there to monitor applications. So we have lots of, basically everything is new now, except for that you will be, basic concepts are exactly the same. Yes, we are still publishing applications. We're still publishing desktops. We didn't go to desktop at all because it was purely XenApp. But I was trying to just put lots of and keep putting lots of bonus material there, which was not intended for this course. So apart from Zen Server and NetScaler, and now 7.6. So I'm going to be doing the same for all the other courses. Wherever there are new features, I'm just going to add it as bonus material. SCCM is coming. So there are many new features in SCCM. Cloud version of SCCM is coming. And then I'm also adding SCOM overview and SCVMM overview. But that's really big pluses. So if you're interested, you could let Manzar know about that new SCCM course. Okay, that was advertisement. Okay. Anyway, there are many differences here you can see, and we're gonna go deep down into those differences while I will be installing the same thing. And just like the day one of 6.5, this is the day one for 7.6. But that's just we're not gonna go in depth into that. But at least you will get this site up and running easily. And this is no longer called Citrix Farm. It is called Citrix Site now. So we're gonna be seeing this terminology again and again. So you're gonna be used to it. But again, the whole planet or majority of the companies still have 6.5. So your concepts must be good. I would again suggest that go ahead and give that exam for 6.5 ASAP. That's going to be very, very good for your career. Don't go for, you can go for 7.6 as well, but 6.5 exam would be really good for your resume and for your experience and the concepts there. Because what happened was that there were many features in 6.5. Then some of those features were discontinued in earlier than 7.6 version. Some of the features, then those features were again introduced in 7.6. So that's why it's most famous right now. That's why I just wanted to jump to that. Although material for 7.5 is more available. But 7.6, let's just go ahead and see those features, understand the basic infrastructure, and try to do the lab while we are trying to understand. So this is Citrix has done very good documentation, of course, without that. Well, it's very interesting documentation that we get to know overall picture of that, and it's not very complicated as well. If you see Microsoft posters for, okay, this is SCCM, so there are like gazillions of things in one poster. So they're trying to explain the whole product in one poster, and we're like, huh? Okay, who's doing what, where, and when? So anyway, you can see this poster here, or this is just a diagram with the basic infrastructure. So there is a Citrix receiver, and this is the client machine. Suppose this is a client machine, and on the machine we have put the receiver. But now instead of web interface, we have storefront receiver for web. So the we're still going to open or access the applications through the web browser, but it is making connection. It used to make connection with web interface on the client side. Now it will be making connection with storefront, and storefront would be offering and showing all the applications on the client side. We're going to be installing that. Then there is Citrix Director, which is for monitoring of the Citrix environment in a very cool dashboard. And there is that Citrix Studio. So instead of XenApp Center, where App Center, we were seeing everything and we were controlling the whole environment from App Center, which is now called Studio. And Delivery Controller is that communication, zone data. And the XML broker. So this is Delivery Controller is doing the communication between the database and the client connections. So Delivery Controller is like data collectors. In the 6.5 now they're known as Delivery Controllers, right? And then there is that desktop. Desktops can be also virtualized and published, but we're still working on or talking about the application, publishing. So this is how it is. Basically, that App Center is Studio, Citrix Director is the monitoring, Delivery Controller is the data collector, or Zone Data Collector and XML. Both those two tasks are being done by Delivery Controller now. This is Delivery Controller is responsible for communication of the central console called Studio The delivery controller is responsible to communicate between the studio and the database, studio and the client side, desktop publishing, and application publishing. There are some more terminologies we're going to be seeing which are concerned with publishing desktops. We haven't touched at all desktops because this course is not about desktops. But anyway, we're gonna be still talking about a little about desktops. And if I get time, maybe I'll just we're gonna try to do this desktop role as well. But the thing is, before there was Citrix XenApp, and this is a separate independent product. And then there was Citrix, desktop, Zen Desktop, which was a separate independent product. Now they have combined XenApp and Zen Desktop in one ISO. So when you download one .iso file in 6.5, we were able to download just XenApp. Now when we download Zen Desktop and XenApp, both are within one file. This means that whichever feature you want to enable, activate, configure, deploy, you can do that, but it's just in one file. As soon as if you got the licenses for just XenApp, that's it. If you want to get the license for desktop as well, you need to get that, and then you can use that feature as well, right? But they are in one file right now. That's why you will see some more terminology relating to Zen Desktop while we are trying to configure only XenApp, right? So this is the basic diagram. Then we go to some of the terminology, but before that, this is where we get on the Citrix website, XenApp free trial. When you go there and you log in with your credentials, then you can see this latest ISO, which is 2 gigs or 2.47 gigs. Downloads XenApp 7.6, and then there's that VDA. We're going to be talking about VDA as well, just 300 megabyte. Then storefront. This is for the receiver on the client side, that the client side would connect to the storefront. This is the latest version of that. And storefront is responsible, just like web interface was responsible for delivering the applications or showing the applications in the browser. Storefront is doing the same thing. It's just not called web interface anymore, it's called storefront. So but this is the screen. You can get the latest versions separately, or you can get one ISO file, although it just says XenApp, but when you start deploying it, it's going to be showing, do you uninstall XenApp or do you uninstall Zen Desktop? So both are there, but it's just saying, hey, you want to concentrate, it's with that name, it's there, but Zen Desktop is also available there, the other product. Okay, delivery controllers, either authenticate user access, brokers connections between users and resources, distributes applications. So as we saw in the diagram before, this is the delivery controller, and it's doing the middle work, right? So all the information, all the changes we are making in the app center before, now studio, all the changes we are making there are being not only saved in DB database, as well as they are being, it's doing the authentication for the users as well as delivering the application. So the middle service that is making everything happen right now is delivery controller, distributes application. We're going to be installing that. You're going to see some more of it. Delivery controller, some more information, central management component of any XenApp or Zen Desktop site. They're not using the word farm now, it's site. Authenticates and manages user access. Okay, brokers connections between users and their virtual applications, in our case now, but virtual desktops and applications. Optimizes and load balances connections, communicates with the hypervisor. If you install it on a, of course, either nowadays everything is on hypervisor, right? So a virtual machine, on either VMware hypervisor, ESXi, or we last class we did the Zen server, the Citrix hypervisor, and then the Microsoft hypervisor called Hyper-V, right? So communicates with the hypervisor to distribute applications and desktops. These are some of the services that we need to take care of, and those new services that have been added after 6.5. After 6.5, they released the totally new infrastructure with the 7.x versions. So on existing services which were on 6.5 were Active Directory Identity Service, Citrix Analytics, Broker Service, Configuration, Storefront. Actually, existing is still there. Storefront is only available in 7x versions, not in 6.5. So these are the existing services, but with 7.6 you can see some extra services here. So you could just go back to this document and see which other services you need to monitor. There are new services with the these names, right? VDA installed on virtual machines, workstations, servers. What does it do? So it's a virtual delivery agent, registers with the delivery controllers, manages HDX connections between workstations, so high definition video or streaming you want to do. So VDA really helps in that. It also helps. The main feature would be that if you want to remotely access, you want to make a remote connection to any of the Citrix either servers or workstations, or wherever you install this, you can make a remote connection through Citrix to those machines. Also, it keeps a connectivity with the delivery controllers, or sends the delivery controller an update. Hey, I'm installed on these 10,000 machines, or I'm installed in those 20 servers, and this is the information for those machines, and this is the information for those servers. There are these many applications on those machines, and there's the high streaming. There's a video streaming going on, so we need some extra features to make that streaming not lagging, or the quality of the video should be better as well. Of course, this requires also some policies to be enabled for HDX or high definition streaming, video streaming, wherever the users are doing that from. But anyway, VDA is installed on servers, workstations, on virtual machines, and it keeps in contact with the Citrix environment, and plays a major role in giving some high def videos. Some more of the detail about installed on each physical machine, we just did that, talked about that. Enables machine to register with delivery controller and makes it hosted resources available to users. So if this was the hypervisor and this is the virtual machine, so VDA is deployed there, and then it just makes sure that the connectivity between the Citrix environment and your machines and servers is intact and perfect, and the resources whichever were responsible to be delivered to the virtual machine on from the server side should be there. Establishes and manages the connection between the machine and user device. Okay. Verifies Citrix licensing and applies policies for session. Okay, so for session maintenance and optimization, VDA is there with all those services, but it's also in the in the connectivity optimization should be perfect. The services must be in perfect order and connecting with best quality. So this is what VDA does. Receiver, this is what we deploy on the virtual machine, and we're going to deploy now. So installed on user devices and other endpoints such as virtual desktops. Yeah, provides users with quick, secure, self-service access to applications. Receiver, we have done that. So on smartphones, tablets, PCs, you just deploy the receiver, and then you get to see and access the applications. For devices that cannot install receiver software, receiver for HTML5 provides a connection through a HTML5 compatible web browser. The newer version of in the latest Internet Explorers would be offering this. So it's just that if you cannot deploy a receiver separate software, which is an exe file, then you can just deploy this receiver for HTML5, which is much lighter, and you can have it in your cell phone or tablet. Through browser you can access your applications. Virtual delivery agents, Citrix receiver support, so they can be deployed on all these versions: Windows 7, 8, 2008 R2, Windows 10, Windows on server side, Windows 12 R2, Linux Red Hat, Enterprise 6 and beyond, workstation and server, Linux SUSE 11.3, 64-bit only. So these are some of the latest operating systems that can support and on which you could deploy this Citrix receiver. So remember the App Center, where we were doing everything, publishing applications and zone data collector. We were doing everything from that central console. That is now called Studio. Single console enabling site configuration, which is farm, site configuration and management, provides wizards to guide setup, creating your workloads, and assigning applications and desktops to users. So this is now Studio. Director enables IT support and help desk teams to monitor an environment, troubleshoot issues, and perform support tasks for end users. Okay, so it's a monitoring tool. It's a separate deployment as well. Then there is that high availability. So we did go for an overview and introduction of NetScaler as well. There are two NetScalers available here. You can make storefront highly available. So just like web interface, or if the web interface role holder server is down, and if you have another one, so this is just like web interface storefront, which is offering the applications, which is making it possible for the applications to be available on the client side. So you can make two of them, storefronts. Both of them are available. Two NetScalers for load balancing are available, as well as high availability and load balancing. And then there are delivery controllers. There could be two databases. There cannot be two license servers, but still, if the license server goes down, the connectivity is still allowed for a user to connect to their Citrix server for accessing the applications. The license server, if it is down, just there's a message that comes that your license server is not available. When you press OK, it just lets you still use the Citrix environment. And there could be two hypervisors as well, on which the machines are. Their hypervisor high availability. This is a topic on when you're going through hypervisor topics of how to make hypervisor available, highly available. Then there is databases, high availability, SQL mirror, SQL Server mirroring, SQL Server clustering, SQL always on feature, and connection leasing. There is that cool feature called connection leasing. And what happens is that if your database is down, and suppose you have just one database, and this goes down. So if you had made connection, if the users had made connection with the application before the database went down, whenever a user in a normal working environment makes a connection, its connection information is stored locally to the Citrix servers, local hard disk of the Citrix servers. So in case that you have already made the connection and you're using applications right now and the database goes down, you will not be disconnected, because the connections will be stored, the information for the user connection will be stored also on the Citrix servers. So Citrix servers will know, oh, that user was using Microsoft Word, and that user was using Excel, okay, and that user was connecting from home and using this application, Microsoft Outlook. So database is down, but those who were connected will stay connected. But any new connection will not happen as long as database is down. And when you get it up, okay, new connections will also be possible. So if there are two databases, then connection. This is not for connection leasing. Is then the second database will take over, and you would still new connections will also be created and stuff. But in case you have one database, then connection leasing is that another feature introduced, which will just take effect, and the users will at least user connectivity will not be affected if the DB is down. Okay, storefront. This is authenticates users to sites hosting resources. It authenticates the users into the farm, right? The old name farm, new name sites. Hosts enterprise application stores, giving users. So when we talk about stores, it's web interface, right? So in with web interface, we could create more than one site or website inside the Internet Information Services, or IIS. So storefront creates different stores, just means that you're creating a website inside information IIS, which is a role in Windows 2012 or Windows 2008. But we're just talking about web interface, but it is called now storefront, right? Hosts and enterprise application stores, giving users self-service access to the desktops and applications made available to them. It's simply the users can access through storefront their applications. The users can access their applications through storefront. So we're gonna try to put everything in place, and some more primary access to applications through a web portal. That's what storefront makes happen. Environment used by Citrix receiver to deliver desktop applications to users, and inside a demilitarized zone or internally placed in your design. So we're going to be using in our when you put DMZ, this means that there's one firewall which is protecting the environment from outside traffic, and one firewall on the other side which is protecting the servers from inside access and possibly attacks. So for one firewall here, one firewall there, and in between the firewalls there are servers. So you can put the Citrix storefront there, just like we discussed about Citrix web interface before. Now Citrix storefront can be put in the DMZ, or internally, just in your internal environment, one storefront server can be there, which would help the users access their applications. And databases. So one change here is that 6.5 Citrix, it used to it used to support Oracle databases and SQL servers, and now it just supports Microsoft SQL servers. So 7.6 does not support Oracle, right? So database stores data collected and managed by services that make up the controller, including all configuration and session information. So database is the main application that's going to store everything, store all, whatever configuration is going on. So if you have 100,000 users, you need this much space there. The information in itself is in just kilobytes, but this is just some of the information that they are trying to give. So databases could be of three types: site database, or what we used to call farm. And when we installed a farm, we just needed one database, right? SQL server. So that is called site database. We can have a monitoring database and configuration logging database as well. So monitoring database will be used by that Citrix director now, and configuration logging database is just for all the information about system events can be stored in this database. So in XenApp 7.6, site database holds running system configuration, little persistent information, Maximum size can, during peak logins, it could reach the maximum size, and minimum size, no logons at all. So failed database, if it happens, existing users will be unaffected, but new connections cannot be made. We just discussed about that, right? So transaction log grows by 3.5 megabyte per hour, so peaking at 48 hours. So transaction logs is one thing that we always, or system administrators always keep an eye on, whether it's an Exchange environment, or SQL Server environment, or all the other big applications that use transaction logs, and many of them use that. So we always need to keep an eye on transaction logs. It will fill up the disk, and that would stop your services. So that's not a good thing if you're not watching it. It just grows. So XenApp 7.6 monitoring database, Citrix Director, historical information. So Citrix Director saves all the historical information, what happened yesterday, what happened last week, last month, and retain 90 days of history, and grows based upon the number of users and their connections. Yeah, more users, more data, more connections, more data, right? So 7.6 configuration logging database holds administrative site changes, anything that is being stored in the logs and being reported in the event viewer. There's a database that's collecting all that, and this is always useful, and sometimes it's useful and it could save your job as well, because this when we want to know what happened and for the last downtime, where was the fault. This is what's going to help us really tell how the events unfolded. So data is manually removed. Impact varies depending on selections at time of enabling. So manually the data is removed, but it's just a collection of all log files, which is a very cool thing. Okay, port requirements here. This is always if you're deploying 7.6, you should know all these ports, and this means that you would be talking to the security team or firewall admin and requesting that admin to open these ports. Well, there are more details about the ports on the Citrix eDocs as well. Overview of remote desktop services licensing. We're not doing remote desktop, but required for XenApp published applications. So licensing type, per user per device. If you have lots of users, main thing is the licensing is cheaper. If suppose you have 10,000 users and you know that there are 1,000 users or 2,000 users connect at any given time, or at the peak time, that would really save you a lot of money if you go for concurrent connections. So that's called concurrent connections licensing. Though if you're a small company and you want to go for per device, yeah, that's good. If you have huge amount of users, then go for concurrent connections, but don't go for per user or per device if it's a big environment. Licensing redundancy options are not available for that. Set where group policy for your Citrix site. So yeah, licensing is applied that way. Okay, so for licensing, we know the site. We just need to allocate the license for our new environment. And again, this same diagram here. So I'm gonna deploy now. I have Windows 2012 R2. 4 machines are there, and one Windows 8.1. So let me just check. I think the steps are coming now. Yep. So this being in mind, and I was just of course I have to practice. So this is how it looks like. This is the client side and store web and everything there. But I had done this snapshot thing. So snapshot manager, while we are deploying, we're going to be discussing some more concepts, some more new terminologies are there. So this is where I joined to domain, about to install XenApp 7.6. So I'm just going to go back to where it wasn't available. So now it's just joined to the domain, and where I was about to install 7.6, so I took a screen snapshot there. On the client side also, I took a snapshot where snapshot manager, yeah, joined to domain, activated for 90 days, IP given. Okay, so nothing Citrix was available. I'm just going back to that snapshot. That's the benefit, right? So take snapshots at the correct times and put as much description as possible, whatever helps. So we would know exactly where you're going back and what is the configuration of that machine. So that's where I am now, and this is my domain controller here. So this is the domain controller, and what I've done is just created another user called Citrix admin, and I think I'm logged in from Citrix admin. Yep. So this means I don't need administrator right now. I could just disable account for administrator. Citrix admin, I just right clicked and copied that, right, like this. Okay, and named it Citrix admin. And 7.6, so this is the ISO file. This is that ISO file. I downloaded it from that same area, XenApp and Zen Desktop 7.6 ISO is written there. If I drag it down, yeah, this was the screen that was there to try different applications. You could, so I uploaded it on my Dropbox as well, all these, but it's always better that you create, you already have that account, Citrix account, so you could just go there. So if I click on download now, and put authenticate, go inside, yeah. Yes, get license. Seriously? Oh, okay. I live in Cameroon, Cambodia. No, okay, just kidding. Okay, so get license. Good. Get downloads now. So now there is, okay, this one. So then free trial, it just took me directly to this because I selected that. Okay, now the email comes, hey, you again ordered that? You already ordered that just, a few days ago. So 7.6, I just downloaded that. See, it says XenApp. When you download it, it then says it's a XenApp and Zen Desktop. Anyway, so one is this. Second is try XenApp. So second thing is I need a license for that. So my Citrix, enter, and well, since I'm logged in already, so and view licenses. I already took the license for NetScaler and for previous labs. So XenApp. Oh, 4, cool. And 22 Jan. Nope, that's like, where's it? 22 Jan. 2016. Wow. In future, I took this license, right? Okay. So this is wow. The dates are all seriously. Oh, sorry. Expiration. Yeah, I just missed my coffee for today. Okay, so see this 90. So I just want to get license for this. So I need to know where it is. So I'm just gonna control C this. It's in this path in my laptop. You would have different paths. And I would just make sure that because I just snapshot back from you know, the other configuration, so I'm just gonna make sure that it is the correct folder. Yep, XenApp and XenDesktop. Don't click. Okay, we're good. One more thing I wanted to do was, since I snapshot back, I need to make sure that I am still joined to the domain, because this is very crucial. If it does not detect a domain, it's not going to let me install that, or it's going to give me weird errors. So when I snapshot back, I just need to log in again, but it's going to log me with the locally stored, locally cached profile. Anyway, I just want to, it's better to get re-authenticated. So let's deploy this 7.6 on this server. So I have created 4 servers here, one DC, one, this is Citrix mem01, and joined to the domain. Citrix mem02 is there as well, and joined to the domain. So what I plan to do here is, let me use that tool. So if this is our environment, so we're gonna put this as DC/DNS, this as, so I'm just gonna put the store, Citrix store, or the previously known as App Center, here on Citrix mem01, and here sorry, okay, I will do both. Okay, I love this and this, cool. Anyway, studio, not, so this is the App Center, previously known as App Center, now it's Studio. I'm going to install Studio there, and Storefront here. And then there's that Windows 8 machine I have, and this is going to be, I'm going to install the receiver here, Windows 8 here. So right now these are all Win 2K12 R2. So Windows 2012 R2. So I'm just going to deploy the Studio, and you're going to see the whole options, list of options there. I could just go ahead and deploy many of the other features as well, but if I want to have a central dashboard, although I can have a storefront here as well. Storefront is just like web interface from where the when the application request is coming from the client side here, Windows 8, it's just going to let the applications install there. Or I can just go a little straightforward and go ahead and install the storefront as well here, but we can have 2 storefronts even if you want. So if we, just like in 6.5 we had 2 web interfaces, so you could, if one of the web interface was down, so you could still connect with other. Then we actually load balanced it as well, both web interfaces with Windows load balancer. Then we went for the Citrix gateway load balancer. Then we went for just the overview of that NetScaler as well. That can also load balance, of course. It's much more complicated there. But yes, if we have storefronts on both servers, and we can have Studio on both servers as well, just like we had App Center on both servers. So we can have all this. So 2 studios or 2 app centers, and 2 storefronts as well. So let's just see that we can just deploy the whole thing on both servers to make it redundant as well. Let's go back now, and I'm on my mem02. This is mem02. This is mem01. I don't need another 4th server right now, so I'll just get it out of the way. Okay, so the ISO is there. Double click that. This is 2 products in one ISO now, just to whichever you want to use. So this is XenApp deliver applications, and Zen Desktop deliver applications and desktops as well. So the whole desktop is virtualized and delivered. But it has its own. It was a separate product in 6.5. So since we are just concerned about XenApp, so let's go for XenApp and start. Even if you go for Zen Desktop, same screen will open there. Okay, delivery controller. We can start here, select and install the delivery controller and other essential services like license server and storefront. Then there are these separate products as well: Citrix Director, as well as Citrix license server, Citrix storefront, Studio. We can and universal print server as well, and they're all enhanced and much more easier to use. Um, we had a detail about the print services as well. One class was dedicated just to print services. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna go and install this delivery controller, and it should offer me more options. If not, then I'll still go ahead and install that on the first server. And okay, so licensing agreement, yes, I have read that. Where did I? Oop. Okay, so these are all the components that is asking, hey, you want to install this, and this. So what we know is that our feature pack 3 has been released for 7.6, so or the 7.x product. That's we have to upgrade after deployment of this, or we can go to that same website and install what I'm talking about is this one, that there is that VDA latest version is there, and the storefront latest version is there. So we can separately deploy storefront as well, or we can just go for this and then upgrade it to feature pack 3. So I could just delivery controller distributes applications and desktops, manages user access, and optimizes connections. Just like the data collector and XML broker in 6.5. Then there is Studio, which was App Center, Director, which is the monitoring, license server to manage all the licenses. I still need to get that, and Storefront to offer applications, which was previously known as web interface. So, yep. I'll just go ahead and deploy the whole thing, and then we can deploy the whole thing to the second server as well, just like we did in the 6.5. If I click next, it's just asking here you need a SQL server. Of course, either we can have separately in big environments. Of course, we should have a separate SQL server, but here we can just going to have a small SQL Server Express. And remote assistance is that if you want to do the shadowing, we did try the shadow as well, shadow feature. So this is remote assistance, the Windows version of shadow features, right? Where you can have the same screen available. Okay, next. The firewall. So automatically for this local machine, not your company firewall. For this local machine, it's going to, if the firewall was on, it's going to add as these ports with as an exception. So it'll create the firewall rules automatically. We're just gonna keep it on automatically. Yeah, we don't have our firewall open, but if we had, it would have added these ports there automatically. So next, and the installation starts. While this is going to take time, oh, just 27 minutes. Cool. Hey, we automatically have a break now. Nah. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for the second server, which is Citrix XenApp 7.6, and although I haven't deployed the site yet, so I'll wait a little here for this installation to go ahead, and So it's going to be deploying delivery controller, studio, director, license server, storefront. So we still have to make a site, and then we can add another one, just like in 6.5 we were doing. So then we can go one by one with all the other options. So anyone having trouble with your labs till now, and try not to give up on your labs, try to do those, because if you do those 6.5 labs you will be easily understanding all the latest changes, new changes in the 7.6. If you haven't done the 6.5 labs, it will be difficult for you to really grab or understand the new features of 7.6 as well. So, and 6.5 is the most famous version and most widely used version right now, and whoever's upgrading, you would find mostly 6.5, and they would want you to, hey, can you upgrade it to 7.6? So yes, this is the environment. We are having typical overview of that environment, and we're installing that environment. But this is how you would do. You would have simultaneous two environments, one 6.5, one 7.6, and then you would just migrate from 6.5 to 7.6. Easier said than done, of course, but this you must know the previous one as well as the new one, right? You're migrating to. So that installation is taking time, and if you have any questions, you can ask. We can talk more about some of the features here, and there's that kid mutiny. So there's a very good resource, Citrix, on the Citrix website. If you go to the training.citrix.com, 7.6 labs are also being offered there. Okay. Yeah. Kids jumping in and out. So, any questions you can ask, and we can also talk about your labs, the exam prep while this installation goes on. Right now, SQL Server is being installed, then C++ runtime, Visual C++ will install, then Internet Information Services will be set up, remote assistance, then core components will start, and then the post-installation component initialization. I wish you were doing that with me, but I think we stopped that long back. I hope somebody's doing that, but it would really have been good if you were doing that, or after the lab if you're doing that. It happens that by the end of the course people do lose interest in doing the labs, or then only the serious ones just follow up. Okay, so yeah, doing the labs is the main thing. So I'm just gonna go to the second server now, and this is not the second server, and I could separately deploy a receiver now just to save time. So in order to deploy the receiver, first I have to, because once everything is set up there, it will be easier to grab the applications and connect communication with the main environment from this client. So I'll just check the client if everything is up and running. It's giving me the wrong, the DNS server. It's giving me, so I'm just going to disconnect from the internet, this machine, and again try this. Okay, 201.1. So I just changed the subnet from 200 to 201. Okay, and lookup is fine. So how do I install the receiver? I have to connect that. Browse. Okay, I just need to connect that ISO file and especially make sure you get this box checked, connected. That's okay. Although it's, if I just install that now, it's not going to be connected to anything because that thing is being installed right now. Okay, SQL is done. Runtime. Oh, IAS is done. Remote systems is a small one anyway. Okay, we're down to core components now, so it's installing quickly. Okay, so on the client side, we can install the whole, just like we could install the App Center for the administrators to install on their Windows 8 or Windows 7 machines. We can install the Studio here as well. In fact, can we? So as soon as we have communication from that studio, we can at least remotely manage our Citrix environment. So this is a Windows 8 machine, client machine, and if we go for start, it's going to detect that, oh, I'm running on right now a client machine, so this delivery controller which I started there is disabled now. VDA for server is disabled, VDA for client is enabled. Storefront cannot be installed, everything is disabled except for Studio. Create, configure, and manage infrastructure components, applications, and desktops. As long as I'm the system admin, I can click on Studio and press yes. Although the Studio has nowhere to connect to, just showing these options on the client side that we can have those remote management tools installed. The Studio, if installed on the client side, once the farm is connected, now we cannot use that term farm. Once the site is connected or configured properly, Citrix site, then we're going to be able to connect our Studio from our Windows 8 client machine to our Citrix environment because we are logged in from the same Citrix admin. Okay, so delivery controller, Studio, director, license server. I should have just unchecked director just to save time, but I guess we have time. If you have any questions, you can let me know. If you were stuck in your previous environment, 6.5, you can let me know that as well. We can talk about that. So I could install the Studio now, but I would wanted to install that when our environment is done. One more thing is that Citrix Receiver is also in the ISO file. So when we click open on the Windows 8 client machine, this is the Citrix Receiver and plugins, and we can go for Windows and then Receiver and offline plugin. We do remember that offline plugin was for streaming applications that if you were disconnected, still you would be able to use those streaming applications with offline plugin. And this is the receiver that we would want to install Citrix Receiver. So I'll just keep it there, so when we have our environment ready, we can install that and it gets connected. About 2 minutes remaining, seriously, for the whole thing? Okay. You can use your mic as well if you want. But anyway, yeah, this is just still a basic installation that we had done. So I'm just going to go back to the slide, and also wanted to pick from other sites some of the material that we could that I could show. So storefront. So I could actually this is my domain controller. Okay, I'll just put it there so we could track the movement. Yep, overall 1 minute remaining. License server. And well, this I can show this. I'll pause it here, so when it's done, I can just play it again. Resuming. So while the installation is going on, so this is what is called a new architecture, FlexCast management architecture, where everything is service oriented. This is a service oriented architecture. Delivery controllers handle so then what we discussed there, right? But overall it is called FMA or FlexCast management architecture. Delivery controllers handle connection requests, Studio Console to manage applications, VDA enables connections to applications and desktops, Citrix Director to monitor applications, Storefront for web receiver access to applications, and underlying databases hold relevant data for the Citrix site. The whole thing is called FlexCast Management Architecture, and then the whole thing, then a new architecture and the new terminology, and then where you can install that from. So I'll just check back. I think we're nearly done here. So I just wanted to take it where we could deploy an application to our Windows 8 client by putting the receiver there. So this would just prove that, you know, basically our Citrix environment is up and running. Okay, there is one question. So okay, so the question is, okay, the question is not related to XenApp, but since the installation is still going on, I'm gonna pause it here. So when it is done, I'm gonna come back. In fact, hey, I've resumed the recording, and we were just talking about this upcoming course, SECM, and we were talking about SEVMM, and which I'm also putting as a bonus material, as well as COM as a bonus material in our next SECM upcoming classes course online. So yeah, you need one license for that. Yeah, for SECM, and well, they are all separate applications, and this is just a bonus material after SECM, which is also a very, you know, it's not easy course, and but the job requirements are very. You just go and search for SECM experts, and on Indeed.com or, you know, Monster.ca, Workopolis, and you would see that in those job sites, SECM jobs are a lot. So, but SCOM is also always there because it's all related to System Center family of products. There are others as well, but these are the main in the market. These skills are required mostly in the market, right? Uh, okay, so SECM. The question would be now. Yeah, this SECM course is 299. Uh, so this is the price we have put there for this course. So anyone who's interested can join this, and but there's just that, you know, this is always this is a separate course. CVMM SCOM is a separate course, but I'm just throwing those two as bonus the initial installations and full configuration, where they are actually running and working. So I'm just gonna put what main is this, which is the most important. Okay, so while we were talking about this, okay, our installation for 7.6 is done, and recording is also going on. So let's click finish, and it will launch the studio there. Click finish, and so let's see how do we configure the farm. Oh, don't call it farm, it's a site. Yeah, so let's try to configure the site and see what happens, and what are the options and how different it is from our previous 6.5 environment. And it does take this much time, although I think I added the RAM to 4 gigs. Okay, 2 gigs. So one day it's going to start, while I'm just waiting on the environment to get ready so I could put it on Windows 8 client to have the remote connectivity with the central dashboard called Studio, just like App Center before. And since I just let all the components install, otherwise Citrix Director is normally installed either on another server or later, although it's very effective monitoring, so that can be deployed on a separate server. Storefront, Citrix Storefront is deployed separately, on another server, so the application requests could come to that server, and just to divide the traffic. And you could also put the storefront role on high availability by putting it on 2 servers. So there it is now. The Citrix Studio, and the wizards are also here that we would want to go through. So there is that deliver applications and desktops to your users. So this is called site setup. Remember, we set up farm in 6.5. Now it is site. Remote PC access, if you want to enable this for the users, for selected users, to access remotely the PC and scale your deployment, connect this delivery controller to an existing site. If you already have a site, you could just add this to that. What we are planning to do is to deploy this on the second one as well, but we still have to get the site up and running for Citrix. So this is let's go for this site setup, deliver applications and desktops to your users. Okay, and I think it's convinced that I clicked it. Okay, so you have 2 options when creating a new site. The simplest option is to automatically create a fully configured production ready site. The second, more advanced option is to create an empty site, which you must configure yourself. Let's go for the easier one, because it will be asking lots of questions. So okay, you know what I did before? Before I went back from the snapshot to the snapshot where I had not configured anything, so I had configured the Citrix site. I gave the name Citrix site. So Active Directory also stores information. I hope this doesn't matter, but I should just simply change the name now. So Citrix site Toronto. Okay, Toronto site. So this, previously we would call it the name of our farm. Now it's the name for our site. Fully configured, production ready. Okay, let's just go ahead and go through the wizard. So the database stores all site configuration, logging, and monitoring data. So database server location, this, the local server and the Citrix Toronto site. It's there. So I'll just do a test connection, and it says that no database was found because we didn't create one, right? So if your studio user credentials, so it's just saying that shall I create a database or not? So I'm just gonna say yeah, just create one. Still at the end, okay, all database connection tests passed. That's it. That's good. Okay. Um, oh, okay. There's another question still. I didn't see that. So Ali's asking. So all of it is in SCCM courses. So yeah, we were just talking about SCCM. So this is the screen. Um, I'm just putting these two courses inside this SCCM system course. Otherwise, they are always separate courses, right? But these are just overviews of SCOM and overview of SCVMM. So we get most of the skills in one course, in one go, right? So normally it's just one SCCM course that is always delivered everywhere, and it's pretty expensive out there, right? This course, but I'm just throwing it these two as well, just to whoever is attending will get the most knowledge, right? So okay, so okay, that's good, Ali, that you put this comment privately. So so please show your interest and email Manzur, email us, and we're going to talk about that. But really, I mean, when I'm throwing these two as well, I think I should be adding more instead of. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is our database that we are creating. Remember, we were creating a site, which is just like creating a form. This third option, generate database script, is very good in big environments. The database or the DBAs are different team. You're a Citrix admin. You're in a Citrix team. You're not a DBA, or you don't have the rights to create database on the SQL server that is available. Only DBAs are responsible for that. So in case you don't have the rights, you need a lot of approval, but still DBAs are supposed to do that. So you can generate database script and give that and send that or email that to the DBA, and the DBA will use this script to create a database with this name and there on their SQL server, and then you would be able to connect this Citrix site to that database. In case the DBA team is separate from your Citrix team. Normally in big environments that's the case, so you can generate that script to create a database. So they will just use that script to create the database for this site. Okay, click next. Connected to a trusted server, licensing. We did add the license server with all the other servers. So later we're going to be adding the license or the .lic file. But right now we just wanted to make sure, yes, the license service is also available on this server. We did not you remember that we added the license server software on a separate server, like on the domain controller. Now we just added it in one console. In the studio you would see the license as well. Okay, so we are connected to a trusted server because license service is also available on this local server. And yes, we are using the free 30-day trial, and so we're not gonna use the existing license. The product list below is generated by the license server. Okay, anyway, free 30-day trial. Next. So select a connection type. If machine management is not used, for example, when using physical hardware, select no machine management. So we are not going to be creating Zen desktop. We are going for applications only. So we don't have to configure any of these. Suppose our environments were in Zen server, which is the hypervisor for Citrix, or SCVMM. See this? So what I'm offering in the next course. SCVMM or System Center Virtual Machine Manager, and it is tough. I am telling you now, it's tough. But that's why it's important skill. vSphere, Citrix Cloud Platform, Amazon EC2, AWS, Web Services, Amazon Web Services, or the cloud services from Amazon. Configuration Manager, Wake on LAN. These are just all for Zen Desktop, which is the other product. We're talking about XenApp because we're deploying applications. So no machine management now. And just a second. Okay, no machine management. And let's go next. App V is for application streaming, and this is also available a service in SCCM. App V for application publishing and streaming, but we're not going to use that now here separately because it integrates with other technologies as well, or other Microsoft solution that is also although it's just going to offer application streaming for the Citrix environment, but it has its own separate configuration. App management server, app publishing server, but we have to still do some more extra steps. For now, we're doing the basic installation, so we're gonna just skip that, but we can enable it anytime. So next. Here's the summary and anonymous statistics to be sent to Citrix. Sure, no way. It's not going to just grab our credit card numbers or anything. It's just going to grab the statistics of how we're using, and just to improve their products. Okay. Anyway, so click finish. Still keep it on now. And now it's creating the database for our site, and the configurations we've done, it's just creating database and saving everything on that in that database. So the site is being created. Once it is created, I should also just start this same installation on the second server, so we could have the second server also available for that. And I'm disconnecting the ISO there and checking both the boxes, so we could have this. There it is. So let's check it out. So this is the second Citrix server, where if I go for start for XenApp and go for delivery controller, press yes, just like I did in the previous, right? But now since the site is created, or previously known as farm is created, while it is being created, I could at least start this basic software installation, right? Because I have director there, so I'm just unchecking here. License server is there as well, so I'm unchecking here. At least once it is installed, because we're gonna just add it. It's just saying that this command must be installed at least once. And since it's letting me go, so it means that the license server should be available in the environment. Storefront is already there. This component must be installed at least once. Yes, it is being installed on the other server. So studio and delivery controller, I could just put the storefront there as well. Okay, so 2 storefronts, 2 studios, and delivery controller. Next, install. This is an optional component, so I don't need that right now. Let me just check. I don't need to install this on this database because I want to. Okay, it's still under installation. Creating storefront cluster. I don't want to mess up, by just going fast. So distributes applications and desktops, manages create blah 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 desktops, storefront provides dedication. I can deploy storefront again. So since I have a database there, I don't need a database here, so I'm just going to skip it. But when it asks to join a site, then I will just try to join to that site, and it should create my second, or it should add the information of my second server to the database that is available on the first server where the site is being created right now. So I don't need director now. License server is also there. Yeah, okay. Next, and uncheck this, and I don't need two databases, SQL servers separately. And yes, if the firewall was on, it would have added these ports. Next, that's it. Install. So while the installation is going on, once it is done on the second server, I'm just gonna try to add that to this site, which is being created now. All right. Oops. Okay, so now it is. I'm still waiting on the client side. Although I think I should go ahead and install the software when it asks for configuration. Then we'll try to configure it. So I'm just going to install the studio on the Windows 8 client as well. Oh, time. Because this could create problemo. Specific time. So on the client, that's okay. So now it's at least the studio to remotely manage the Citrix environment for a Windows 8 client machine. Studio is being deployed. So the site is being created right now for our Citrix environment. So I want to take this environment to where we could deploy one application. But there are many options there. So it's gonna be a little complicated. Okay, that's taking time. I could pause it here. Checking on my workstation, checking on the second server. It's deploying core components now. And the first server is deploying the site. Okay, so storefront, database. Okay, updating licensing. Oops. Yep, that's what I did not do till now. The licensing. Let me go there. This is the licensing. So Netscaler I had. We already had that. Some details for that's the October one. So activate and allocate licenses, right? So if I click there and then the 5 Jan today, so I did select that, but I did not install that Citrix store XenApp. Oh, I just okay, I need a license file, so I'll just click continue here and put the name for the host here. If sorry, here. So host name, now in my case it is, I still gave it Citrix XenApp 7.6, although it's a new environment, just like in 6.5, I gave that same name. Citrix XenApp 7.6. That's it. Continue. I would want to have, and confirm, I would want to have a .lic file, and it's going to let me download now. Your allocation was successful. Would you like to download the license file? Yes. Okay, download is here for Citrix XenApp 7.1, and this is the license file with the host name added to that. So I'm just gonna go to that gazillions of folders and go for software, XenApp, and then 7.6. Whew, there you go. So license done. Okay, in the background, the site has successfully installed, and that's how the studio, previously known as App Center, now the studio looks like this. And there's that test site configuration, so it's going to test, it is always a good idea right after you've deployed that. Go ahead and click that, and it's going to check each and every corner of that site to know if everything is configured correctly. Okay. So there are 194 tests that it has to go through to check each corner, each area of this site, or previously known as farm. Okay, so in next classes, there should be two new things added in next class, that everyone should be asking questions on the mic instead of texting, and second thing, everyone should have their videos on so I could see you guys as well. That's gonna be interesting, because then if I can see you and you can see me, but I need to see who's looking, and also could ask question. But it's easier to ask questions on the mic, right? Sometimes you just have a question and you don't wanna. Oh, who's gonna text now? But anyway, you were still texting a lot. That's also good. Okay, some more tests remaining. 194 total. So in the slide, I just went for get a license file. I just put some few steps there. Delivery controller, studio, and storefront. Yeah, later create a machine catalog. Yeah, that's where we're going now. So I'm just gonna drag the slide to the other screen. Okay, tests are nearly. Oops, seriously? 11 field tests? Oh, it's gonna create a report. Previous installation, there were 0 field tests. I mean, 0. So, that snapshot back thing actually backfired. On the second server, installations are still going on. On the client, studio is okay. It's just ready to launch. When it starts launching, it's going to try to check the whole environment, and discover other Citrix servers. That's not good. I need the report. It's still doing some more tests, and I wanted to see what tests did not get pass. 173, 183, 184. Okay. Should have had a totally new environment. And then there's that PowerShell here as well. So okay, move. Still on 184. It has to complete 194, and then I'm waiting for that report button to show here. It's gonna show the report button. Second server, it is still deploying, installing storefront. Okay, that's done as well. 1 minute left there. Post installation only left. And client is waiting to be connected to the studio. 184, it's still 184. 186, okay, it's moving ahead. And all tests are failed. Not good. Oh, seriously. Should have had a new environment. I hope it's not a showstopper, but if they were warning, still it would have been a little okay. Let's go ahead and still, but it's a fail. That's not good. Well, let's see what the report says. Because I'm deploying on the second server as well, well, I just have to see what the test has to say. 90, 94. Come on, move it. Oh. It's good that I ran it. At least I would know now which portions it did not like. Okay, 3 more tests. 2 more. Okay. The report, please. Hey, break so soon? Okay, this is a good time to ask for a break because I need to see, check those errors from the report as well. I'm going to show you what happened. But when I installed it the first time on the same environment, it was just 0 failed. All tests passed. Anyway, okay, so what? 15? Hey, it's no longer 15 now. Okay, 15 minutes break. Should be 10, right? Okay, anyway. Break, guys. Test's finished, and there's the report. So, we're gonna take a break. This is 15-minute break. I'm gonna pause the video. In fact, I need to see the report, and I'm not gonna go forward to configure those. But if we are to do some troubleshooting, you can go take a break. But I'm going to keep the video running because I want to see what portions are giving problem. So if this is recorded, maybe we could record some of the troubleshooting. So okay, test run on controllers, database, check database connection settings and user permissions. Not be used to connect software to the database. Database version matches the expected version. Cannot be reached. Check database connection settings. Okay, it's all. Oh, it's all about database. Source pack level meter. Source pack level? Who cares? Not for now. But in production, definitely I would care. Cannot be reached. Check the connection. Hey. Am I having the firewalls? Oh, the firewall is on. Not good. Alright, let me check the firewall on the other side as well. Okay, firewall on the client side. Control panel, system security, firewall. Ah, seriously? Firewall switch between apps. Okay, I did that, Mr. Arrow. It is. Okay, forget it. Or not. Oh, God. Annoying. Okay, so turn off the firewall here on the client machine as well. Now press F5 to make sure the firewall is off. Not good. So can I check that again or make the test? Yeah, I can make the test again. Okay. Oh, it's gonna go one and one. Same thing again. I hope I have connectivity with my database. Oh, and I also did not put the license file, but anyway. Oh, jumping to 137. Wait. That's where it started feeling. So. Exceptions were created automatically for the firewall, even if it was on. Let's see. Still stopped at 183 again. Still stuck here. I'll quickly check the services as well. So, Pausing it now. For the video, I just stopped the main controller for a while as well. Well, anyway, we still have to, because the confusion overall is being shown here successful. So after the break, okay, -5. I'm just gonna continue. Pausing it, okay. Resuming. So on the client side, if I click finish, and it's going to do that. On the second server, I'm also clicking finish, so it's going to also start that studio. So on the client and on the server, the studio will start now. It's still stuck on that test. Okay, gotta keep moving. So okay, it's just looking on the client side. The studio is asking, hey, where to connect? So I just need to give the site. Okay, there's so many emails coming. I'll just stop the trigger notification. Well, it's not going ahead with those tests. I think there's a problem with the database. So if I go down to go down to SQL Server. Oh, Management Studio is not there for the Express. I don't think they. Management Studio. TCP/IP should be enabled. It is. SQL Server, browser, Express services not started. Okay, one service is just available, which is okay. Although I just wanted to check the other service starting makes a difference. Okay, Mr. Test, we just want to get it over with, please. Okay, so let's continue. I think I should just put the skip test because it's gonna take a while Hmm. So the studio is installed on the second server fully. I'll just add it to the site, but if there's a issue here, test run our entire site database. Check database connection, set conditions. Okay. Oh, okay. So from 183 now it's increasing, and 190 successful. Yay! It was worth the wait. And what I did was to stop the firewall. One of the firewall profiles were running, so that after stopping it, it's going fine. It's able to connect and communicate with the database. Should be, because there's no error now. And we should be very sure about having 0 failed tests. So just 193 or 194, just one more, and there you go. Thank God. But the difference was, yes, the firewall was on. For domain controller, the firewall was on, and for first Citrix server, the firewall was on. And go. One final one, and then we go ahead and configure the rest of the environment. So for last test, oh, it's really so second server, it's just waiting to be joined to the site, and it's on the last test run, is on the last one, and it's taking its time. So I can try to start joining of this scale deployment, connect this delivery controller to an existing site. If I click here now, what it's asking is to specify the address of a delivery controller in the site. Example, deliverycontroller.example.com. In our case, it's the Citrix mem01.citrix domain.local. Alright, the test finished. Yay! Okay, it was worth all that wait of, and the troubleshooting done was just to turn off the firewall. So I'm just gonna click close now, but if I go for show report, successful, and successful till way down. Okay, close. Test was good, and so there is that on the top search option, and but on the second machine, if I go there and if I type here Citrix mem, the proper name, really need to stop this Facebook notifications. Citrix.com. So Citrix domain.local. Would that be enough for this guy? Would you like Studio to update the database automatically? Yes, of course. Please. Let's see if it just successfully connects to the second Studio server, Citrix server. Gets connected to. Really, I need to go inside. Okay. The services could not connect to the database. Possible reasons for the message: the database server may not be allowing remote connections. Make sure that the database server is set up correctly and that the firewall is not blocking the connections. I did make sure that the firewall is not blocking the connections, but anyway, we can just start with the first server and we can troubleshoot that later if the second server is not connecting. But I did make sure all the services are okay, and server protection, we don't need that. We want to just nope. And also I went to the SQL services, and this service is supposed to be okay, but I'm just gonna restart this service. So the SQL Server service Express, and if I could have a chance, they are both disabled, the browser and the because they're not needed. That's why the only thing we should be making sure that TCP/IP is enabled, because this allows for remote connectivity, and any other TCP/IP is enabled. Okay, so I'm just gonna try once more to try to communicate, because it's not able to access the database. Citrix mem01 Citrix domain.local. Okay, it's not able to reach the database, so it's not gonna join us the second server to the domain. But we did have a database issue before. I restarted that SQL Express service. That's all I did, but it's still not adding. Anyway, I'm just gonna see it later. But if I go to the client side and try to connect to the same server, Citrix mem01 dot Citrix domain dot local, would it connect from the client side? Because I'm still logged in from the Citrix admin. Assessing configuration files. I would have just restarted that first server, the whole service. So all services would have, but I think, okay, good. So we have perfect connectivity between the, I just installed Studio on the Windows 8. So for administrators, you can have your own Windows 7, you can just deploy the remote connectivity. So, okay. The site is working fine. SQL Express is okay, and let's go back to the Studio. So storefront is still, if I click the storefront, which was the website WI in 6.5, now it's called storefront. If I click here directly, because I need to make sure that I will be deploying some applications, publishing some applications, and seeing it on the client side as well. That's why I just clicked the storefront. It's the RAM of the server is 2 gigs. I should have made it 4. And anyway, I clicked it just to know what's the situation here for the storefront. But it's taking a little time. Well, I don't want to end now. It's not saying it's not responding, but it's still loading because I know that when I was trying before, it was still loading, and so I'm just gonna tell it not to end now but cancel, so it could keep trying to load the whole thing, because storefront also has lots of its features which we want to load. So after the configuration is done, what we are supposed to do is we're gonna, in order to deliver an application quickly, just to see if the whole environment is working, what we need to do is first define how many Citrix servers we have in the machine catalog. This is the new option here, which was not there in 6.5. And then delivery groups will discover, will first see if any machines or servers were defined or added in the machine catalog, and then it will allow the delivery group will allow us to deliver the applications through that server which was defined in the machine catalog. So through that server, it's going to let us deploy the application on the. Okay, Citrix storefront is also loaded, and if I, yeah, it just took time, but and this message is still coming that it did not respond on timely fashion. I think it is because I have given it 2 gigs of RAM. I should have given it 4 gigs, so it should work with all those services. So what's going on here is we have studio here, we have storefront here, and we can make some changes here to the storefront as well. If we click view and change, make the change, so it is showing us that path, which and if which we can use to open remotely in a browser, and then it's going to show us the application, but we haven't published anything yet, so I'm just showing this storefront, which was known as web interface before. So if we go from top, there's that test everything, and since we did not deploy anything on the desktop, so set up machines for desktops and applications. This is machine catalog, which we are going anyway to there. If I click the machine catalog, it's just asking, or it is expecting us to define the machines that will be utilized, that will be used in these in this environment to publish applications, to deploy remote desktops. So I'm just going to go and click this create machine catalog, and now here machine catalogs are collections of physical or virtual machines that you assign to users. So you create catalogs from master images or physical machines in your environment. So it is kind of that image creation that could be used for deploying desktops. So this machine catalog mainly works in the Xen desktop environment and not in XenApp environment. Ugh. And so I'm just gonna go next here, and here we can define or at least add which Citrix server is there through which we're going to deploy our applications, right? We have to define at least one machine to make our application delivery work. So this is the way in 7.6 it works, that machine catalog you have to define at least the servers, if not the desktops or remote PCs. But it can do a lot more than just defining our Citrix server, which is hosting the published applications. It can do a lot more than that, but that comes to the second product called Xen Desktop. And the way it works, then we can use this feature. But right now we're going to just define our one and only Citrix server, which we just configured now the site on. So I'm just going to keep it clicked on as server as OS, and next. So there's that, if we were going for machine Xen Desktop, we could have used these features, but we're going to be just going for another service or technology. I'm not using Citrix technology to manage my machines. I have existing machines already prepared, so I'm just defining here that yes, I have one Citrix server from which I'm just going to be deploying my applications. So next, and then it's asking which server are you using right now. If we go down here, select the VDA version installed on these machines, so we're going for 7.6, and video is responsible for the communication between the users and the servers, as well as letting the users use the HDX or high definition video streaming as well, and for a list of other features as well. But the main thing is that 7.6 features are we're using, and this is the server. If we click add, it's looking for only computers. So if I go for Citrix and click check name, all the machine names are there. So I'm just gonna add Citrix Man 01, press OK, and next. So then it's asking, hey, what machine catalog name you want to give, because it's not gonna let me click finish if I don't give the name here. So Citrix XenApp server, that's it. That's a machine catalog name because I have just one server. I could later add second server here, third, fourth, fifth server, but it's going to be a group of XenApp servers because we're doing just the application deployment, not the desktop. So click finish here. It's supposed to create a machine catalog that, okay, these servers will be used to deploy applications. So there is another catalog that it maintains for the Citrix. This is new for XenApp 7.6 or 7x, but this was not available in 6.5. So then there is that delivery groups. So now I would want to deliver applications, and so I'm just gonna go right click and create delivery group here. This is another wizard. So this is also new in 7.x versions, which is different from 6.5. Next, and it detects that, okay, there's that machine catalog already defined and there is one machine there available. Choose the number of machines for this delivery group. We still need to choose or tell the delivery group that we are using. Suppose there were 10 XenApp machines there. We would want to use 5, 8, 9, whichever number, or all 10 machines for deploying applications. We could just add here for this delivery group, because in this delivery group we can define number of applications that we would want to publish. Maybe we create a delivery group for accounts department, we create a delivery group for management department, or Toronto branch or London branch or New York branch, and we would want to use different number of XenApp servers. So for this delivery group, since in our environment we just have one server, so I'm just gonna click plus here and add this only one available. So, but we can define for different delivery groups different number of servers. Next, so we're not talking about Zen Desktop, we're just going for applications for this delivery group. So we're just gonna select applications. Next, and of course we're just going to offer this application we're about to deploy to all the domain users. So I'm just gonna go for domain users directly and click check name. Just gonna detect that, okay, and every Active Directory user is part of the domain users security group. So press OK. There is that option of give access to unauthenticated or anonymous users. No credentials are required to access storefront. This is another feature introduced in 7.6. So mostly in hospital industry or any other company where you're offering some services on the kiosk, on sideways, on some attractive wooden platform or table. You put a desk for passerbys for any conference or any exhibition that they could just log in. So you want to offer some applications that the users can use anonymously without being authenticated from Active Directory, and the applications themselves have some internal security available. Maybe they are just running with guest accounts for some particular applications in hospitals, on insurance companies. So you want to just quickly know some information. For that you don't need to be authenticated. So you can offer some of the Citrix applications by clicking this, that yes, unauthenticated users can also log in. But for now, we are just going for domain users or authenticated users. Next. Now we can have the application published. I'll just go for browse and unable to browse machines as delivery group. Do you want to browse on the local machine? Yes, go ahead, local machine. And I'm just gonna go for Windows System 32 and go for calculator. Calc. There you are. Calc. Okay, it just got all that from their command line argument, just like we used to publish applications. This is the same thing. That's okay, calc, and or maybe it's in the same folder path, so I could just add something else. No, I have to go back again to the same thing, and system 32, and go for notepad. Okay, calc and notepad. Next. And since we're creating this delivery group, we need to name it as well. It could be for a department, it could be for all the users of the site, or it could be for any branch. Okay, I could just name this as Toronto branch users delivery group. So this could be then organized that, okay, this application is meant for Toronto branch users. But for now, it's just for all the domain users. I could have added in the users window here just the Toronto users to make it effectively just available for. Now, when this is created, now there are many options here. Delivery group, then what are the applications? These are the two applications. Then machine catalog. Okay, this server is offering this service, and then the usage, if those users are connected, and administrators, there's that Citrix admin, which I created a separate account by copying that domain administrator, and that is, we can add other users as well with different kind of permissions, but I just in order to publish an application, this is exactly what you need to do. At least define one server in the machine catalog, and then create a delivery group. Inside that delivery group, you can then add applications. You can add machines as well here. Then on the right side, add applications, more applications here as well. If I click add application here, next it's just going to take to that same area where I already added the application. Cancel out, added delivery group, and we can just check all the options and add more users here, or give anonymous or unauthenticated access as well. Cancel out from here. Maintenance mode, rename delivery group, delete delivery group, view machines, view applications. If I click view applications, it's just giving me some more options there to view applications, and we can duplicate applications or go to the properties of that application, and sessions, which users are using these applications. The same thing, but different view is there now. Then there are policies on the same, just like in App Center and 6.5, and in Citrix Studio we have policies as well. We can click close here, and when we click close, they are just loading all the policies there that we can go for, and we can just create policy from here if we click create. So the policy wizard starts, and all the policies are showing just like in 6.5. You just need to go down, select some of the policies from their active directory actions, active, write back, advanced warning. So yep, all the policies are there, and I do remember that there was some policy we did enable right away then and there, just to basically make it work. But anyway, right now we're just seeing which options are where, because we already know how it all works. Then logging is there. We know that all the we can just click don't show here because it's just introduction. So all logging is being, all log files and all the events are being shown here. Then if you go to configurations, we can just, apart from my administrator, we can just add other users as well and give them, assign them scopes and roles. So just full administrator, help desk administrator, host administrator, machine catalog administrator, read-only administrator, or just, you know, viewing. So we can add other users with these roles that we have. So then the controllers, there's that Citrix MEM01, one controller is there. The second controller I wanted to add, but it's not communicating with my database. Maybe if I restart, then it just communicates or control in the site you wish to join. So hey, if it is, did I put the name Citrix? No. So it's just giving an example. I was just, you know, doing a guesswork. Anyway, so hosting here, and then add connection here. So we can add connection to which platform is our environment or our server is being hosted on, but this was strictly for Zen desktop environment, so we're just not going to check it. I have already downloaded that license file. You can see that license, the server is not separate anymore, so I could add that license now here. So licensing is showing here. If I could go to add licenses, it's looking for that LIC file, and I downloaded it. Actually, it's here in 7.6. This is the license file. I'll copy it inside this server. Second server and system 32. It's looking there, but I'll just put it on downloads, paste, open. You sure that you want to add the license file? Yeah. Let's see if it accepts that, because it's going to 1.1. So not I did add. I think I have to refresh. Licensing administrator, added licensing administration. Okay, it's going to that site. And administration, remember this site for Citrix. So I'm just going to that because it does not do anything there when I added the license. So I'm just going to properly go inside that Citrix administration to check if I have to add from there. Well, that's how we added before as well. So I'm just going to go for vendor daemon here, import license, browse that file again, downloads, license, import license. Okay, it already exists because I added there, but it was not showing there. So that's why I had to come back here. But if I go to system information, user configuration, alert notifications, licensor configuration, yep, logging. So import license and licensing file is added. Okay. Is it? So I'm just gonna close the studio and open it again. So I'm just gonna go back and look for studio here. So what is there? So there's a Citrix studio. Yes. Oh, come on. It should not be 2 GB, it should be 4 GB. Okay, while we went through all some, most of the options there, I need to at least open from the receiver side as well. While the studio is opening and I'm gonna try to confirm the license, I'm just gonna go to the client side as well. Studio is also installed there, so it's we can, as an administrator, I can try to configure stuff from here as well. But I wanted a receiver so I could at least see the client side of the web browser with the published applications. So Citrix receiver is inside that CD, same ISO which we downloaded. So open that and then go for Citrix receiver there, Windows, and then receiver, and then Citrix receiver here. Press yes. Install. Okay. So while this receiver is being installed, let's check back if, oh wow, it's still loading. Cool. Not cool, but should have added the 4 gigs and restarted this machine. The main thing is it has to restart them. Okay, it's opening now. Or not. Checking back on the client side. So I made some changes in the delivery groups and machine catalog. So on the client side, inside the studio, I'm just checking if it updated everything. Or is it really connected? Yep, it updated here as well. So I could make all the changes here as well in the studio, which was supposed to be the app center before, 6.5. So remote client connection is okay. Its license is still not showing. License model, so it's loading there, but it's not showing there. Not good. While it showed there that it is installed, you don't have to deploy again, but that's not fun for this product. 30-day, and anyway, this needs to be sorted out as well. But I'm just gonna go for receiver if it installed. Okay, go. Then we have to just put the proper link, proper URL on the browser. Okay, installed successfully. Add account. Citrix admin. We do not need to add an account. Click cancel because this is my account which I'm logged in from. Your account cannot be added using this server address. Make sure. Okay, there's another way because I tried all those things. Well, if you need to add an account later, start Citrix receiver and choose accounts. Okay. But I don't want to add a particular account. Right now, I'm just gonna go for web browser here, and since I'm not connected to internet, so I need to see which URL I have to put. So again, for storefront, which server group is there, and this is the link for that. And there's one server there. Storefront is that previously known as web interface. Without web interface configuration, we could not open on the client side any applications, right? So authentication, if we add remove methods. So these were the methods we did see before as well: username and password, or domain pass-through, smart card, HTTP basic, pass-through from Netscaler gateway. This is we saw in this web interface as well. Now it's in the storefront, but we're gonna just keep it at username password for the domain. and these are the stores that are available, and then there is a receiver for web. Now this is the URL that you need to we need to really put there. So if we copy this, so you can see that this is the FQDN for the Citrix server, and then the Citrix, and then the store web. I'm just gonna try it on this local server on the local browser first before trying it on the client side. So store web, and press enter. There you go. I agree to the access install Citrix receiver to access your applications. Yes, go ahead, install. So it downloads that from the Citrix server itself. This can be done on any of the client machines there, or deployed through SCCM. We can deploy this on through SCCM. All we need to deploy is Citrix receiver.exe, right? So you can deploy through SCCM any of the exe files. I'll just not save it. I'll just directly run it. I could have just said log on, but I want to install the receiver, so properly all the applications published there would appear here. So it's doing this thing there while I install the receiver already there. I just know the URL now. There it is. Let's see, and there you go. Should detect the receiver, which I already deployed in Windows 8. I wanted to add this. Okay, all it's asking is, well, to allow this web page. Yes, allow. Okay, so allow this. A website wants to open web content using this program. Yeah. So don't show that. And if I log in from my domain, Citrix domain /Citrix admin, which is the account I created, admin and password. Press OK, log in. Okay, it did log in, and there are your applications, all apps. When I click the add your favorite apps, Mr. User, so if I go to all apps and calc, okay, whoa, and notepad, so 2 applications just added. So it's good that if you have added a huge amount of applications, it's not going to show up by default here, but when you add it, or whichever you want to add, maybe for a department you have added 18 or 19 applications, but majority of the people have to use just 2 or 3 out of those 18-19 applications. So the guys would just the users would just go there and just add those 2 or 3 applications instead of showing all those applications here 18-19, while the people might not use them right away. So it's a good choice that the users have now, that you could just drag and click all apps, and these are just showing here like this. So they are published, but I did not open that. Can I start app notepad? Okay. Seriously? Can I start calc? Yay! What? Okay, so while this need to be sorted out as well in the new environment, okay, it's installing receiver there on the exact server from where we are running the show. Okay, we'll just let it. But now I would want to see what went wrong there. So many things need to be sorted out here. So on that server, when we're back, we're just using HTTP, not HTTPX. Store URL is this, just Citrix store. and but the main thing is that this is the store service that we are using, and refresh. We can, so store URL is just a website that is created in the IAS, in the Internet Information Services. Then there is Netscaler gateway option that you can set up pass-through for outside users who are coming from, or who are going the traffic that is going through Netscaler. So you can configure with Studio, inside Studio, all those configurations, enable authentication method now if you have a Netscaler available for this. And then there is that beacons option here, that beacon points are used to determine whether users are connecting from internal or external networks. So there could be a different URL for internal users and a different URL for external users that we can add and provide that to the external users as well, right? So beacons are for that. So this is a complete basic working of an environment, although the applications did not start, so this has to be seen in the logging area. We can try to check what the errors are and sort it out, but overall we get to know many of the major functionalities, what are the new terminologies we're using, and I think you should definitely repeat this lab at home. Okay, so I'll just click finish here, receiver installed. You should really repeat this lab and try to install 7.6 and try, once you repeat, you will have much better confidence on that. And if you're facing any problem, let me know. I still need to sort out two things here, that I was not able to join this second server to the farm, so I need to sort that out, and also why the applications did not start at once, although I can try that now here just to see on the same server, although that's not going to be fair. They should be starting here, so yeah, I need to see all those different areas just to get the environment up and running. They're published or not? Are they published? Yes, they are published. They're working? No, they're not working, so still need to figure that out. I'm just gonna try that on the same server as well, Citrix domain, because they're still going through the storefront. So remember the domain and password. So same application showing there, but they're not working, so I need to sort that out. Okay. Although I had a problem with the database, so I think I should restart those and check this environment again. So any questions till now, let me know. So this I was just planning for this extra stuff, 7.6. We although this should be our last class today, but I just wanted to try on Zen Desktop as well, just to know what is that other product that and how does it work, and how does it look like basically for the user on the client machine. That would also be not in depth, but an overview, just another bonus skill. So we did deploy, so please deploy the 7.6 and let me know how it worked, and hopefully we can go for Zen Desktop. I will try that. If it gives a lot of problems, then I can send you the video and consider today's class as the last class. Otherwise Zen Desktop would be next class, with the last class, right? So any questions, let me know. SCCM, if you're interested, email Manzar and let us know. If there anyone else interested. So SCCM, SCOM, and SCVMM all are going to be there. But overview, SCCM will be in depth. Others will be overviews, basic installation and configuration, which is extra, bonus skills which everyone needs. So let us know about that, and it's a goodbye for today, and next class could be the last class, or the video. If I send the video, then today is the last class. Anyway, I'll try to have that Zen Desktop. Yeah, so Ali is saying, please have the Zen desktop also available because I have the environment ready. So I really wanted to, yeah, check that Zen desktop as well because we haven't touched it at all. But that's another course, right? Still, it's gonna be a bonus skill, so let's go for that as well. Hopefully, I'll just create that environment as well for Zen desktop, and let's have the last class, next one, and then call it a course, not call it a day. Okay, everyone. Then good night and see you in next class. And please repeat this lab and let me know if you're stuck somewhere.